have some news about myself. Hi, welcome back, by the way. I had my MRI this morning and got my results like within the hour, and they weren't good. I already knew they weren't good, and I knew that they were going to be pretty bad, and they are. They're pretty bad. Comparing to my 2019 MRI, that one just showed that my tendons were slightly inflamed, and then the pain stopped, and then recently it has came back full force of almost excruciating pain. And so this MRI on both hips, one has more than the other, and actually the one that doesn't hurt that, well, it hurts, don't get me wrong, it does hurt, but not as bad as my left one. My left one is worse, but it seems that my right one has more things wrong with it. Now I might get things confused compared to one hip against the other. If I said that right, I hope I did. Both hips in the tendon area has tears. They're inflamed. There's fluid around them. One has more than the other. One has degeneration to it, and another one, I can't remember if it's the same hip, has a bone spur. And I'm like, oh wow. I might be leaving a couple of things out. I'm not sure, I can't remember because I've worked since then. But before I started this video, my doctor messaged me about him and said, yes, you have some major inflammation in both hips along with tears. Do you have a orthopedic doctor that you've seen in the past that you like? Well, there's only one that I like that did my shoulder surgery, and he does not do hips. So me knowing what the results were going to be because of my history with my tendons is I made an appointment already a couple of days ago, knowing that my MRI was coming up. And I did it a couple of days ago because I thought it would take about a month to get in. But no, I'm seeing a ortho doctor that I have not seen, and I see him in 6 days. I am pretty sure that I will have surgery. And what bothers me more is I cannot move downstairs until November. Could be later. And with that being said, I cannot have surgery until I move downstairs. And that does not look good for me. I don't want to have to keep coming up and downstairs because it's very difficult for me. Sometimes painful. Sometimes I just don't have the strength. Some days I have more strength than others. I can go upstairs with a slight struggle, and other instances I struggle really hard. I have to kind of pull myself up on the rail and just keep going. If I have groceries that are heavy because I try to make one trip, so I overload myself, that is excruciating for me. And I about always lose my balance and go backwards because I have no strength in my legs. Oh, and one of the hips has I want to say it said blood accumulation. I might be wrong on that. I don't know why that just came into my mind, but I'm not sure. If I printed them like I wanted to, I could have read them for you. But they're on my phone on the app, and I'm using my phone as my camera right now. And I see my cat. She's always close, always near. The MRI was an hour and 50 minutes long, give or take 5 or 10 minutes. And I was on my back the whole time. I had a very not firm pillow under the bend of my knees. And I was in the same position 50 minutes at a time. 50 minutes left hip, 50 minutes right hip. And the only difference was that I did move was I had to inch over against one side of the tunnel, and then when it's time for the other, I had to inch over to the other. My feet were tied together on each side of a wedge because they said when we're laying down and we relax, our feet is always up, and when we relax, they turn outward, and so does our hips. So he had to tie my feet where they're straight up like that, so I could not move my feet. I'm saying all of that because I have a permanent back injury from a car accident back in 2001, I think it was. And I have herniated discs, bulged discs, and now with age and time, I have degenerative disc disease there also, and other issues. And so laying that long on a extremely hard surface was very traumatizing, very painful. The guy had to help me sit up. I suffered all day with that kind of pain. For some reason, I guess it's an acknowledgement. Some words are so hard for me. On my hip issues, I feel pain because it said some of my tendons that were affected. Of course, it's just one tendon, I think. I don't know. That's attached to my butt muscle, I think. It said gluteus something. But I have pain on the top part of the back of my hip, on my back, because your hip goes to the back, and that area hurts. So I don't know what's going on with that. I do know that when a specific part of your body is inflamed and you're in pain and you overcompensate because of all of that, it does affect other areas of your body. She just snotted. So all of that at play has really affected me. I talked to my manager also today and mentioned to her about what was going on and asked her, by that time I should be pretty well experienced where I can work home, and I can now, but there are instances where I have to ask a question pertaining to something. But I asked her, if I have to have surgery, in which I'm pretty sure, almost 100%, if I can schedule it like on a Friday and start working from home on a Monday until I can walk pretty well and go into work. And she was all for it. She did say that if I can't do that, that I would have to fill out some form. I can't remember what she called it. But I can't do that either because I need money. So I'll have to use PTO, in which I'm not using it. And I have one day saved up. But by the time I have surgery, I will have more, probably 3 days, maybe. And I will use that. And then I will be able to move around okay enough. And I can sit up, sit in my chair and work from home. I will have to get another cushion for this seat because I'm here to say I broke my tailbone. Yes, another issue that I have. When I was 11, I was on roller skates in my friend's backyard, and there was a brick sticking out of the yard in the dirt. And the point of it was up like that. And I, for the life of me, at this point in my life, don't know why that brick was buried and poking out. But I tripped and landed on my tailbone on that brick. So I broke it. And it was very painful for a long time. But now, if I sit too long on a specific surface, and I'm sitting on a cushion right now in this chair, that when I go to sit up, it hurts. It hurts really bad. I have to get up slowly, and it is excruciating, and I'm not even exaggerating. So when I have this hip surgery and I'm sitting in this chair working, I have to have a double cushion, not only for my butt, but because of my hip too. So the other half of the cushion I'm sitting on is at work that I'm sitting on there. I was leaving work today, and I'm going to talk about him. And if you're watching, yes, this is about you. I was leaving work, and I have a really awesome coworker that I work with. She has such a pure soul, and I was drawn to her since day one of even looking at her. I didn't even speak to her yet, but just looking at her, it was like my soul was familiar with her soul. And I just knew right off that she is such an innocence. Not saying that, she couldn't be mean. I wouldn't know that because I wouldn't think she would be, because she's so nice. But we give each other a hard time at work, and we have fun, and we give daily hugs, in which I enjoy. I'm not going to say their names because I don't know if they want me to or not. So I'm going to play it safe. But both of them had subscribed, her and her husband, subscribed to my YouTube channel. And I didn't know he watched. I was leaving work today, and he called me over, and I was playing with him. And I said, I don't even know who you are. But I knew who he was. And he told me he watches my channel. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, did you subscribe? And he said, yeah. Which I don't know if they subscribed separately. But he said that he watches my channel, and he totally agrees with everything that I have to say. Well, I might be pushing it on saying everything I have to say. But we have very similar knowledge of specific things. Some things I cannot say because in the past I have said certain things and I got a warning on YouTube. But I will just say this. He believes, as I do, that God is the maker of all. And certain beings that he makes are like his assistants in a roundabout way, as in the ETs. They created Earth and they created us. But God created them. Or God created other ETs that made them. I'm not sure which order it is, but I can tell you that God is the maker of all. And he is source energy. He is a tremendous loving energy. He kind of agreed. I think he said something a little different. I don't remember what it was, of what I believe. Doesn't make either one of us right or wrong, and we are all entitled to say and feel and believe in what we do. It doesn't make you a wrong person. It doesn't make you wrong. Why do I always have difficulty talking? I don't know why. Something wrong with my mouth or my brain. I told him I was hot. I didn't tell him that. I was very hot, and I said, we three need to go have dinner. I'm sure we have a lot to talk about. And he agreed. And I don't know why, but my cat is sitting down there in the floor, and she's staring at her big tub of cat food. She does have cat food. And she'll look in my bedroom and then look at her tub. It's a big, several gallon tub that I had for my last two dogs, and I kind of kept it. And I had an enormous bag of cat food that I dumped in there because I believe that animal food, even though it's hard, I do believe it gets stale. So I didn't want to leave that bag open for the food to get stale. I mean, I wouldn't want to eat that. Just saying. So I wanted to get on here and talk about my MRI and then throw in my friend and her husband's conversation. So if you two are watching, you know who you are. Thank you both for subscribing and watching. It means a lot to me. It means more than people actually realize. Not only because, ooh, I get money for that. That's not it on my account. My account is finally somebody believes what I believe. It's like an understanding and an acknowledgement. It's like, oh, okay, so I'm not the only crazy one in the world. Although we're not crazy. We just believe different things. So I'm going to go. I'm going to try my hardest to do a video tomorrow too. I'm going to upload this one tonight, and I love you guys. I'm going to send each and every one of you love, light, and peace. Bye.